This is your 5-minute explanation of Carcassonne. Let's start with the basics. The game from Mindoc is for 2 to 5 players and for ages 7 and up. The average game time is about 35 minutes, and the object of the game is to score the most points while building different roads, towns, churches, and farms. The game contains the scoreboard, 5 sets of different colored meeples, 1 starting tile, and 71 game tiles. At the start of the game, each person chooses their color. They take one of their meeples and place it on the scoreboard standing upright. Place the starting tile in the center of the playing area. Shuffle the rest of the tiles and place them to the side face down. Choose the order of the players. This will be the order throughout the game. A player's turn consists of 3 parts. First, select one of the game tiles. Next, decide where you would like to place that tile on the playing area. Finally, choose if you wish to place a meeple on a tile you just placed. Tiles have several structures and features on them. Cities. If claimed and completed, they are worth 2 points per tile that the city exists in. Roads. Roads are worth 1 point for every tile they exist in. Churches. Churches are worth 1 point for every tile that is surrounding them. Farms are worth 3 points for every city that they touch. Some of the cities have shields on them. These are worth an additional 2 points per shield within the city. Another structure you may see are little villages. These are just junctions which signal the end of a road. They are not to be claimed as they are part of the roads. When you place a tile, you must make sure that your tile matches exactly the tile that you are laying it next to. For example, a road cannot lead into grass, nor a city not be connected with another part of the city. Once you have placed the tile, you can choose to place a meeple on one of the features of that tile. Once that meeple is played, it remains there until the feature is completed. Once the feature is completed, you remove the meeple from the game area and score the appropriate points on the scoreboard. So for example, I place this tile with a city. I decide to claim the city with my meeple. A few turns later, the city is completed, and I score 14 points, and I remove my meeple from the gameplay area. Once a feature is claimed, a second player cannot claim the same feature. So if I had a road, and another player added to that road, they could not place their meeple on the same road. They would have to choose a different feature of that tile, or not place a meeple at all. The exception to this is, let's say I started a road here, and another player started a road there. Eventually, during the game, these 2 roads are connected. If this happens, the player who has the most meeples on the feature would get the points. If it is the same amount of meeples, then the players would both get the points. 2 features are played differently from roads and cities. One is the church. If you place your meeple on the church, he remains there until the church has been completely surrounded by other tiles. Once surrounded, the player receives 1 point for each tile around the church and then removes the meeple from the board. Playing the farm feature is risky. It could be worth a lot of points, but you will not be able to take your meeple off the board until the end of the game. When you place a farmer, all of the grass that connects it to it is part of the farm until it reaches a road, a city, or water. Each city the farm touches is worth 3 points, but you won't know how many points you will get until the end of the game. Speaking of the end of the game, once the last tile is played, each player will score what remaining meeples are on the board. Scoring is slightly different for incomplete features. A road is still worth 1 point for each tile that the road exists on. The same with the church, it's worth 1 point for each tile that surrounds the church. An incomplete city is worth only 1 point for each tile it exists on, and shields are also only worth 1 point. When scoring, if you go around the 50-point mark, lay your meeple down and continue to count. This will indicate that you have lapped the board once. The player with the highest score after all of the meeples have been counted is the winner. And now you know the basics, so let's play.